Hey everyone, welcome to another page in the Desert Plant Diary. I'm Carl. In today's video, I'd like to share with you some of the plants that I've added to, I'm going to call these the HGAs, Haworthias, Gasterias, and Aloes. So we have a flea market held on campus. So I work at a place where you have a large campus and there are quite a few companies that work there, and once in a while you do have a flea market where they do sell some clothes and perfumes, all that boring stuff, and also a few succulents. So I did pick quite a few up from there, and recently I picked up these two from there too. Now first up we've got this one. I'm not too sure about the names, guys, and I'm too tired to care right now, to be honest. And I do love these guys with or without their names. So this is the first one. It is in a seed plug or seedling plug or whatever you call this material. So it does look a bit like the Celarius, but it's not exactly that one. So I'm glad to have that to the collection. They usually do sell very common succulents. However, I do keep my eyes opened, and once in a way I do get something surprising. So this is the next one. Does look a bit like a Gaster Aloe, but nothing surprises me in terms of the hybridization. It could also be a Haworthia. Beautiful teething on this. And I have been after this guy for almost 2 years now, and there was a nursery that was selling this guy for a massive clump for almost the same price as this single tiny guy. But it did have some amount of fungal infection, so I thought it a bad idea to pick that up. Very happy with this one. Now this is another one I did pick way earlier, months ago, from the same show. Now what I do, guys, is to remove this outer fabric. I don't know what this fabric is. I do know that it's biodegradable. These are called seed plugs or something like that. So you get a tiny, it's very cramped, it's compact, it's like this, it's like a tablet. And what happens is once you water it, it's just cocoa peat inside. Once you water it, it does expand, and it's perfect for a seed tray cell. And you just stick the cutting in it, and it does grow, and then you just uproot it or pull it out of the seed tray, and you have a seed plug, so to say. And it's an easy way to start to germinate stuff or root cuttings. But right now this guy needs to be transplanted, so I will remove this fabric, although you can't see the roots do penetrate through it. For some reason I feel that this does constrict the root system. That's just my opinion. So I've removed this fabric for these guys that I will show you now from the same flea market. And one is this guy. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? It does look like the Gaster Aloe Royal Highness, which is this guy. But it's quite different, and it's okay if it's the same one anyway. So when I gift people at work stuff, it's usually plants. And I prefer that to perfumes and other things, and they do remember you for quite a while. This is another one I've picked up thinking it's a different type, but I'm pretty sure that will turn out to be a Gaster Aloe. Like I stated, these guys do look very similar when they're pups, only when they do get mature and bloom is when you do know that they are quite different. This is a Gaster Aloe Flow, and it was slightly variegated when I picked the pop up, but after planting it at home it seems to have reverted, so it's still okay. It's good gifts to give people anyway. So those are the 5 that I picked from the flea market. I also did pick other plants up that I didn't share in the plant haul video due to lack of time, guys. Let me share that with you now. So I'm not too sure if I shared this one. This does look like a giant version of the reducer. Quite a gorgeous guy, and is desperately in need of repotting. You can see the circumference of the outer leaves is way larger than the actual container's circumference. So that's one guy. Let me place that very carefully. Next is this one. So I did pick this from one of the flower shows and the biannual flower shows in the city. Quite a gorgeous fella. Very beautiful, and that's in bloom too. The edging is quite blush, but it is too bright to capture that. I think you can see that now. And beautiful teething on it too. Also picked during one of the biannual flower shows is this one. It does look like the limifolia with quite a marking on it. I picked 2 of these as usual, and the other one is in bloom and did give me seeds as well, and I did harvest them. It's a nice way to share them with people you know treasure it. So next is this one. Now this was picked from a person who is just like me, who collects plants and does sell the extra ones nonetheless to, well, it's a nice way to fund the passion. This does look a bit stressed, and the reason for that is when I picked about 2 or 3 from him of these, I did pick other plants too. It was raining in the city, and these did succumb, and there was some amount of rot, so I cut the rotted part off, did let it callus over, and just lent it, or leaned it, or whatever you want to say, let it lean on the edges of the container, that leaf, and it did root, as we all know is the case with succulents. Once you've anchored them, they would be okay. I didn't place it inside or below the soil surface though, I just let it sit on top of it, and the roots, as you can see, one formed on the outside. There were a few that got into the soil on their own, and I very gently scattered some soil on top. So once it stops raining, because it did rain last evening too, the weather's been, as the I'm true to the saying that it's unpredictable. So that's one that I picked up. It's quite established now, and you can see there is a pop beginning to form there too. So the other one that I did pick from him is this beauty. It's almost a beautiful lavender, but what happens is this one is stressed, as I did mention. It did get some amount of rot as well. So what I did was just cut the rotted part off, let it callus over for a while, and once he was strong, I anchored him on top, and he has formed a root system. And I will water him again once it stops raining over here. But he's not dead. He's just curled. The leaves have curled, and that's what aloes tend to do when they are stressed, in an attempt to prevent the top part from burning, because the top part is needed, I'm guessing, for them to make their food. Now this is another addition to the collection. It does look like the lizard's lip, and was amongst the same, the lizard's lips, the aloe lizard's lip. So all of them in the nursery that I picked it up from in that section. But this is the lizard's lip, and this is evidently a hybrid. Now the culture that they do receive is the same. They're pretty much next to each other. They get the same amount of rainfall, same sunlight. But over here, as you can see, the leaf moves a bit away from the stem and curves and grows upwards. And this one is more fountain-like, or more flattened rosette, as you can see from the side. This is another new addition. What a beauty this one is. There are no words to describe this, guys, and the camera doesn't quite capture its true beauty. It's just beyond words. It's a double-headed one, and there are pups, there's one pup somewhere down there. But I'm not going to fiddle with this guy too much, because it did rain yesterday and I don't want a cut edge causing for it to root. And finally, I'm not too sure if there's still new ones in the collection, is this one. This does look a bit like the partridge aloe. It is a hybrid though, and it's quite a beauty. I think it's the Aloe Paulina, but I'm not too sure, and quite frankly don't care, because I love them as much with or without their names. Alright guys, the sun seems to be coming up, which means time to wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and also by watching these videos and these gorgeous plants, I hope you do get inspired to start or continue a collection of your own. And in order for you to do that, I send you a lot of strength and inspiration to step out in your garden today, get your plant mojo on, and do something fan-blooming-tastic. Until the next video, cheers. and God bless you all. You guys have a nice weekend.